live. We're live.
What is up, Scrim Zone community? We are back at it again with another absolute banger series here for you today. Um, I'm Brewer here with PB,
What up?
bringing you a really good one. Up today, we've got Qualmless Chillers going head to head with the Metabusters. Currently, if we look at standings, this would be a battle of, I guess, the Qualmless is tied for second right now. They're in the pack of teams. They're
Yeah,
2 and
they're the
1.
number one team. They're the number one team.
Metabusters, uh, they hadn't beat one thief. I don't know. So, some will say, some will not. Who knows? But they're playing against Metabusters, who I think is 1 and 1.
They're 1-1, right in the middle.
They're 1 and 1. So yeah, Qualmless has been getting out there, getting their games in. Metabusters, this is only going to be their third match. Should be a good one though. You know, we saw two very different Metabusters in their loss and in their win. In their loss, they ran a roster of Gnome Jungle with Snow bot lane, and it went okay, but New York Nutbusters took it to them pretty heavily. I mean, I think that was one of the first series. Mike played really well in that series of bullied Noam. For week 2, they switched it up. They had Snow go jungle, put Noam bot lane on some mages, and I thought it gave their team an entirely different look. And I expect that's what they'll do since it worked. What was your thoughts on their swap, PB?
I thought their swap was really good. I thought Snow did a really good job in the jungle, and Gnome did a really solid job like filling out AD carry. Now, hold on, let me like flip around in this thing because the way that the teams have been put into the rosters, they have Snow AD carry versus Rat ADC. How do I get to that?
You know, and it is possible if they,
Right
switch
here.
back. Could be. Definitely, also like, they can put one thing
They
in
can still
roster
swap.
tool and then depending on draft, switch as well. And we've already seen that this Qualmless Chillers lineup is very willing to switch their roles around based on draft, based on matchup, based on players. So until we've actually kind of loaded into the game, it's going to be a little uncertain on who's playing what and who's going where.
I am interested to see though if they do commit with Snow versus Rat bot lane. I think the one time we've gotten to see Snow play bot lane, I think because it was his first game, so like he gets some slack, but I definitely think he expects to have a better performance in AD carry, and I think he can do that. I think he definitely has the skill, but it's gonna be very interesting to see him go up against Rat. If it's the
Yeah,
bot lane, I hope it's the bot
I'm
lane.
act- I- I'm saying I'm actually hoping it's the bot lane for both of them because, as you just said, I would like to see some more Snow. I don't think what we saw that first week was like his best form, but also like we've not seen Rat play AD carry yet in season. I think he's played in some signups obviously, but hasn't actually played it in season yet. And if my understanding is correctly, I think that's actually like his peak rank. Like when he hit Masters, which he is right now, I believe, the majority of those games were on Ashe. So a very, very good AD carry player that's already shown strong mid lane performances. I'd be interested to see, what does their team identity look like if he chooses to finally, pull out AD carry in the team format.
Although on the flip side though, if they do go back to like kind of the setup they had in the last game with Snow Jungle and Qualmless commit to the having Rat play mid, Jakar Rat versus Snow Foosier should be a really fun 2v2 in that mid. That would be a very fun matchup to see too. I think we have multiple options of
Definitely.
fun little matchups between both teams.
Yeah, that would be a really fun one as well. Um,
We
let's
still have
see.
like 4 minutes until the draft. Any ideas?
Um, I expect to see some of the same bands that have been coming out a lot. Drakar's champion pool has typically gotten targeted. Things like the Kane has been banned some, the Zed has been banned some. Kiana is a pretty common ban because it's a strong flex pick between mid and jungle right now,
It's
and
a
Rat's
56% win
very good
rate.
at it. Yeah, Rat's very good at it, and I'm sure Drakar could play it as well. Um, I'll be interested to see, does the Zed get banned? Because you also saw Snow play an extremely good Zed game last week when they were jungle. So maybe the Zed gets left open and they look to take it. I'm excited to see Chow go up against Corn. I think this will be a good test for Chow. I think they've played really, really well so far. But I think Corn's kind of just a main, staple of the server, a guy that's always putting in good performances, especially like on his most comfortable picks. And so if they choose to like let him have the Darius, I would expect to see, Corn be able to potentially put out a lot of pressure in this game. So I'm looking at that. Key matchup. If it ends up being that, it's the bot lane. A lot of bot lane champions are good right now. If Rat's 80 carry, I'm looking at the Ashe because that was like his most played, I believe, on his ranked account. So that'd be a fun one to see. Snow, I don't know if Snow really has a standout pick, not that I've seen at least, but I think they have a pretty wide champ pool.
I think it's like the Lucian and Ezreal.
I
I
always love seeing
think.
good Ezreal gameplay. So yeah, I would love if we got to see some Ezreal. That'd be really fun. I feel like great Ezreal plays are few and far between. So anytime you have a player of like a really high caliber on that champ, it's always really fun to watch, in my opinion. But
Mm.
I don't know. Nothing else is too jumping out to me. Like I said, it's so hard to like actually try to sit here and be like, I think they'll ban these three champs. I think they'll pick this because who knows what position these guys are playing. If it ends up being Noam Bot again, I thought the Mel looked really nice. I wouldn't hate seeing him go back to that. I thought the Ziggs was a pretty good performance. It ultimately lost, but I don't think that was really on the Ziggs. I thought he played it fine,
Wasn't that the
but the
throw
Mel
fest?
was really strong. Yeah, that was the throw fest, but I don't really put that on the Ziggs, and I think the Mel was just like an insanely good pick for him, which I think Mel Botlane is pretty strong. Potentially like if something like Ash comes out, maybe that could be a counter pick even. Reflect the old, something like that. Who knows? But a lot of excitement here.
I'm just gonna swap over this. We're like 1 minute away. Maybe they start early.
There's one champion you would like to see picked in this draft between either team. What would it be?
Oof. Can I do the inverse and say no Smolder?
No Smolder? Yeah, I will say so. I do believe that a lot of teams are rating Smolder extremely highly right now, if not every team. I would not be surprised that if MetaBusters doesn't ban Smolder, that we don't just see QC lock that in immediately. Um,
I just want to see some
they're
action in the bot lane. That's
yeah,
like I just
they're
want to
listed like this. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just want to see some
It's kind
action.
of snoozer. I will say, we saw in QC's match up against your team, New York Nutbusters, that Smolder actually took its first loss in the team format through a really good Caitlyn game by Alex. So, if they elect to leave it open, I think it's fine so long as they come in with like a good game plan for dealing with it. But I would also, yeah, rather just not see the pick. It's kind of been saturating all the series.
We are at 8:10. Let's click the
Yeah, we should
start
be getting the
draft button.
draft any moment
Okay, we're
now, and
going.
we are in.
We're going.
So QC on the blue side, I don't think we said, and I'll look real quickly. I believe MetaBusters had side selection, so they chose to take the red side, just so we're all aware of that.
Okay, they're prepping for snow jungle with that Lee Sin
Yeah,
ban.
definitely they are. They definitely are with the Lee Sin ban, which I thought Snow had a pretty nice Lee Sin game. Um, I don't think Lee Sin's like some insane champion. Clearly, they've given him a lot of respect on that. That makes me feel like, maybe Jakar is angling for a certain style of jungler that Lee Sin could potentially be annoying to deal with.
I don't know. I don't know jungle matchups too much. All right, Akali ban. Ooh, I like that.
And that makes a lot of sense. And I didn't really bring that up, but they've shown the ability to use this Akali as a flex pick between Chow and Rat mid top. And being able to take a champion as flexible as Akali so early in a draft and have that flex potential is really strong. So I like that ban by Metabusters.
I agree. Oh, Nocturne ban. Joshua
So they're
ban.
just banning out everything
Ooh.
that Snow played last series except the Zed. And if Zed doesn't get okay, I was about to say if
Okay,
Zed
so
didn't get
there's
banned there, I think it probably would have got first picked. But now Smolder is open. Let's see, is that what Qualmless Source is going to go for?
well, I think they just forced each other to make Snow and Rat go bot lane. I think that's kind of like what these bands shaped up to be. I think
Perhaps they definitely banned away two of Rat's most comfortable champions so far that he's shown in mid lane, which has been the Yasuo and the Akali.
Kiana.
But they
Oh
did leave
no.
open the Kiana,
Oh
which
no.
completely slipped
What?
through. I
Uh,
will say though, I don't think there's any threat of Metabusters taking the Kiana. Like, I don't think there is. So I think taking the Smolder and then you have the Kiana to come back around on 2-3. I don't think anyone on Metabusters plays that. And now, if they end up with Smolder and with the Kiana, that's two of the strongest picks on the patch that
that's
they've managed to gather.
that's just remake the
So
draft. That's just no. We're
what
not
is
even playing this.
Metabusters going to do though? Because there's no way they didn't think that Smolder could get first picked. We've already discussed it. What's the plan going to be? Mel.
Ooh.
This almost certainly, I mean, it could be a flex pick, but this is kind of leaning towards you're going to put Noam back bot lane on the Mel that he did so well on. And I don't know. I mean, I think it can be fine into Smolder. You can
I'm
reflect the ultimate, which is pretty strong.
I'm putting Jacob on Nami this game. I think
Yeah, I
Mel
do
and
think
Nami could be
Mel
very.
Nami,
I think it'd be very annoying to
definitely.
play those two champions together.
Definitely. That would automatically make it very difficult for Smolder to lane, no matter who his support ends up being. And you called it perfectly. There's the Nami is. So now you have an answer here. I expect the Kiana to come through because if you don't take Kiana at this point, it's almost certainly going to get banned second phase. And with that being a flex pick, I think that'd be a really strong pick for them right here. You've also already seen two squishy champions on the side of Metabusters that Kiana would be okay playing into. For supports, Paul has shown the Taric a lot, or that's
I
assuming
I
they're
think
kind of
it's
doing
Braum. I
flexing,
think he
but
opts into Braum, but I don't know how much I like the Braum.
yeah, the Kiana, that just felt like mandatory to me. And I'm actually really excited. So we'll wait and see exactly where the Kiana is before we discuss it more, but that's going to be a really fun pick to watch today.
I have a hunch that they're just gonna go with Braum here. I
Yeah,
don't, but
they've
like it's
really
hard
liked
to go Braum
Braum.
here without like knowing the rest of the draft. I don't
I
know if they
think
go the
they've really been
Karma
favoring
again.
Braum to a point of, I don't know if you'd say too much, but QC has shown that they really highly value that support. The other ones we
Oh,
mentioned was like the Taric.
Leona.
I think Leona makes sense. That's a little bit of a different look. I don't think we've actually seen, assuming that they're going to put Paul M support, I don't think we've actually seen his Leona yet that I can recall. At least I haven't watched it. So I do like that here. It gives threat onto Mel. She can't like reflect the ult. Like if that hits, she's stunned. So I do like that. Um,
Me too. I think
but
I
I
think
still
Leona's a good
think,
pick.
yeah. Don't you still think that they're going to kind of get bullied in the lane though by Nami and Mel?
I do think
And then
they.
Fuchsia with the Corki. Sorry, go ahead.
I do think they still will get bullied in the lane super duper hard, but I think the issue with going Braum is that you can't just go Braum without knowing the rest of the comp. So it's kind of hard to pick support here in a way.
Hmm.
It's not like the easiest pick to go on support here, but I like the Corki. Foodger good on Corki, especially in the jungle.
Yeah, Fuchsia has shown some Corki games. I believe he played the Corki actually in one of the games last week and had a really nice performance. I think his early game could have been a little bit better, but he scaled really well on the pick and became really difficult for them to deal with. And I think you almost have to see him go for something like that once the Mel bot lane's been locked in, because you need consistent AD damage somewhere, and Corki definitely provides that, as well as having a little bit of self peel with the W dash to kind of keep himself safe from the Kiana. Now, the question to me is going to be, are you going to put Kiana into Corki? Because I would say that's a skill matchup. I think Kiana into ranged can win if, they play it really well and the ranged person ever like mispositions. But I do think of all the things Future could pick into Kiana mid, this is not like one of the worst things he could have gotten. I think it's definitely something that could get an advantage in lane through the range advantage, through the poke, through the damage. And so we'll see if that's what we end up with.
There is one like little thing that I kind of didn't think about it like with the Braum earlier was because like what are you gonna do now on this pick? Do you go for top blind or do you go for jungle? Now the thing earlier with
Yeah.
like the top blind is that I know Corn likes to sometimes play Ornn, and like let's say they
Also,
did end up
yeah.
going Braum, it's not
I
easy to
think you
go
pick
Braum. And I feel
I
like
think you have to take. I
going
think you have to
Darius.
take Joe here, and you give Corn last pick. Like all of Corn's champions are open. Sure, he could just blind pick Darius, but why not just give him last and get him the
Yeah,
best matchup possible? We will see. I wouldn't even hate if they end up putting the Kiana jungle with Rat playing it, and they just put Jakar back on like the Malzahar mid that he played so well on up against Rift Sharks. I think that could be really annoying for the side of Metabusters to deal with, but we will see. A lot of flexibility still open. And
Aatrox.
yeah, they are just going to blind the Aatrox, which we'll see what matchup ends up like. But I don't know. I don't know about how I feel about that, to be honest. I think, well, we'll see what the jungle pick is because you have to get a lot of value out of this R5 jungle, in my opinion, to make Corn blind here.
Mm-hmm. Lock in your champ, please. Pled, what?
Kled, yep. I've heard some rumors that Chow has played the Kled in scrimmages and in other games, and definitely like kind of a niche counter pick into the Aatrox. Not something that you're going to see a ton, but
Aurora.
players who are comfortable on the pick can do really well on it. So I do like the Kled here. I think that's kind of smart, and we'll see how Corn's able to deal with it. Hovering the Aurora, that would end up throwing Kiana into jungle and putting Aurora mid. If so, I think Aurora's it's a fine pick into Corki. I wouldn't say it's perfect. Wouldn't say it's bad.
Annie.
Annie instead. Um,
So QC just want to go for like their full kind of like team fight, just like full team fight, full skirmish, which has just been their
I'm
style so
re-
far.
yeah, I'm really curious to see who's piloting the Annie. I don't know. I don't hate Annie here. I think it can work. I think you've got multiple targets that you can look to find burst on. It can threaten Corki pretty effectively. I do think Corki still has some range that can fight the Annie, but definitely a lot of
Nautilus
burst
jungle?
there. And
What?
Nautilus jungle. Okay. Well, now I'm just interested because assuming that it's gonna be, well, what? Hold on. What if it's Snow on Corky bot? You have Foosier on the Mel mid, and then you have Noam on the Nihilus jungle. Because putting Snow on Nihilus
Ooh,
jungle just would be surprising to me.
I like that idea. See, the glorious thing about this is that there is too
Who
much
fucking knows?
to really know what's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna leave it like this.
We'll see what happens. If this is, I think we can talk more about champion matchups that we know for sure are going to occur, like the Kled versus Aatrox. Um, I don't know how many times we've seen that in server, but I would think that that's a pretty Kled favored matchup. Typically does really well into any of these champs that need to fight you and have a lot of grievous wounds. Corn, it's a champion he's really comfortable on. Played it 18 games in the server, but with a negative win rate and not the greatest KDA, kind of a hit or miss champ for him. I think that's really just the nature of Aatrox. Noam is 14-5 on the Nautilus. If that ends up being in his hands, I doubt that's 19 games of Nautilus jungle, but at least he's clearly comfortable on the pick. If so, um, Kiana's 0-4 on the season. That's surprising to me with how strong that champ is. Hasn't been able to find too much success, though. I will say,
Well,
I think ultimately it is a bit more of a solo queue champ than a team play champ, just because with good coordination and good communication, if you can kind of mark Kiana, she can find it a lot harder to get those big team fight ultimates later.
well, I do think a lot of the Kiana like games that got played were probably before Kiana Jungle was the thing that started to take over.
Well, Apari played it twice, I believe, this season.
Apari stats don't count.
You said it, not me. But I will say both those games he was into a Talia, if I recall correctly. So I don't think there's the Nautilus is kind of the answer into the Kiana. I think makes sense. It'll be very annoying for Kiana to deal with that ultimate. Um, a lot of Kiana's evasiveness comes from being able to constantly go into like the invisible state with the grass form of her Q. Nautilus can kind of just hook you through that because it's not so wide that, and with how wide his hook is, he can kind of throw it in there and has a pretty good chance of hitting you even when you're invisible. The ultimate obviously will follow you through. Yeah, I think the Nautilus is kind of a creative answer into that. We've seen one game of Nautilus Jungle so far this season. I believe Mason played it, and actually, I believe
No.
QC's played
Chow.
it as well.
Chow played it.
If Chow played it, I think Mason played it. I'm not sure. Chow played it for sure, though. We've seen some Nautilus Jungle. I thought it did okay in those games. Didn't really give me a great impression either way. I do think it's a champion that you want to be ganking on, not one that you want to just be like power farming. So we'll look to see whoever ends up playing that, trying to get a lot of action going early.
I think when Mason was playing it, it looked like they were protesting. Like they didn't want to.
Perhaps.
They didn't want to play. No, I made that up. I don't know. We have one art from Gnome. Just waiting on QC right now.
Okay.
I do think though what you did say was interesting though earlier about like putting the Corky bot.
I think it could make sense.
I mean, is Mel Annie like is that a good Mel matchup?
I actually think it is. I mean, Annie, it's one of those chances where, like, no matter what her matchup is, if she farms and gets items and has flash up, she can always threaten you. But over the course of the game, Mel will consistently outrange the Annie. It makes it difficult for Annie to ever walk up because you just get rooted. Annie will be kind of forced to play around having flash. And if the Mel player is really on point, Annie Flash, you have like a split second there where if the Mel can press her W, you're not going to reflect like the Tibbers, but you can go invulnerable and block all the damage. So I don't think it's the worst matchup in the world for Mel. I think that'd be a creative idea. Really, the reason I'm leaning that way is because I would just be so surprised that they put Snow
What?
on Knowledge Jungle, even if, you're going to sit here and say that, Noam had such a good Mel game last series.
Okay, so things have just gotten really confusing. I'm just gonna wait until everyone locks in their champions because I want to swap over to in-game for a second because we will get to see who locked in some champions for QC, and it makes no sense. I want to wait until two
See.
people lock in their champs on the side of Qualmless Chillers because I don't see the usernames for Metabusters unless the lobby's like uber bugged. Oh, I should have paid attention to who loaded into what order. For because I know like the thing's bugged right now, like the lobbies, like no one goes into order, right? Okay.
Okay,
Oh wait, it
we're
doesn't show.
coming
Wait, it
back.
doesn't show my client.
We're seeing a black screen currently.
Oh wait, they didn't put spectator delay. Ooh.
They've actually gotten rid of spectator delay now.
No, no, no. You could toggle it on or off.
Oh. I think as long as you have the stream on a little bit of delay, it's fine.
I don't. Unless Dean did it like manually, but I don't think Dean did that manually. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna show client anyway because like it's stuck at 0. Oh, wait,
Okay, let's see what we got.
okay, we got spectator delay. We have Jakar on Smolder, and we have Kage mid playing Annie, and we have Rat playing jungle Kiana.
Interesting. So we have, so Paul M is going to remain support. That's what we've seen the most of out of him. I think that's fine. Kage going to be showing some mid lane for, I believe, the first time. Definitely the first time in team format. Jakar, this is going to be his third role in team format, showing 80 carry now after already playing some mostly jungle and a little bit of mid. And Rat's on his kind of patented pick. I think Kiana, from my understanding, like is his number one most comfortable pick. He's been given it, kind of been challenged with that, leaving it open. It's not by accident. Chose to take it in the jungle, and we'll see how it does.
I think it's interesting. Like, I mean, like, so one time, like, I did play Synapse. I did play against Drakkar playing mid lane, and they were like really solid on mid lane. But I definitely feel like Drakkar's like a step above when they're on jungle. Like, I think it's very interesting having him play 80 carry, and especially on a pick like Smolder, where you're kind of just like AFK for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, especially with how well I think Paul and Kage have been playing the Smolder bot lane together. It's like this would be like the third week in a row with this roster primarily, and I thought that they've been playing the Smolder really well. Clearly, they feel that Jakar can play it as well, and I don't doubt that. I'm sure that he can, but I do kind of agree with what you're saying. We'll see, like, how does Kage look on mid? Because you're now not only putting Jakar out of jungle, you're putting Kage out of what he's played. We've seen Rat play jungle really well, so I'm not concerned there. But we'll see, like, what's the fall off in mid lane? Because I would expect that Kage is not as strong of a mid laner as Rat and as Jakar have shown, and I think that Foozier's been pretty consistent so far this season, and perhaps that's where they can try to look to find advantage now, because I think it's going to be really difficult to get advantage in top lane with this Aatrox counter pick coming out in the Kled. I expect Corn to kind of just struggle in that matchup a little bit naturally. We're still yet to see if it's going to be Mel bot or Mel mid. But this is a fun draft, and I'm excited to see it. I think this will be a really fun way to start this series that we were already expecting to be like a
Wait,
really close competitive one. At least I am.
it's Snow playing Nautilus.
So it is, yeah. So it is ultimately going to be Snow playing Nautilus. I don't hate it just because Noam did play the mages last series really well, played an extremely good Mel game. So I do think that makes sense. I'm just a little surprised that we've ended up with Snow on this much more supportive jungle pick after he showed a game of Zed, a game of Nocturne, and a game of Lee Sin. All three games he played extremely well while on those aggressive picks. Perhaps he's just a crack jungle that can play anything. So we'll end up seeing how his Nautilus looks, but a little bit surprising to me just with, what we saw last week.
Hold on.
Future on the Corki has been good as well, so I also, don't hate to see that. And while I think the Mel is probably a better answer into Annie in isolation, I think the Corki can still do, fine into it. Gonna have to be careful though. I will say Annie has really good gank setup, and if he finds a stun onto Fougere, and then you have Rat coming in on the side with like a water form Q able to follow up the stun with an immediate root, it can be really dangerous for Fougere this game. So we'll see how he's able to manage the lane, punishing Annie while also not exposing himself too much to ganks.
I do think the some of the summoner choices are pretty interesting. Like no flash on Kled. Oh, we had a little trade.
Yeah,
That
no
one.
flash on Kled's really interesting. I didn't see that either. And the Ignite is really that's all about I'm gonna try to body this Aatrox. So I think it's really gonna be important for Korn to show us a really good
W
performance
start.
because I could see it being hard for their team comp to play if the Kled ends up getting very far ahead.
Do you think it's a little odd by Jakar to start W? I mean, actually, no, it's not that odd because they're not gonna have like any wave clear, and they kind of need W to help with the wave clear. Oh, but
Yeah, I
it's
think
actually
he would
doing
end up
massive
being a
damage.
little too chunked. Yeah, a little too chunked if he was trying to walk up to the wave and Q. I think that trade back with W makes sense. I am gonna look to see Noam build a CS advantage. I think that's important when you're playing the Mel.
Barrier out early. That's kind of
Yeah,
nice
the
to immune a
root
lot of
barely.
damage.
It's good damage. Jakar managed to not get hit by the sweet spot of the Mel E, so did not get rooted, and that kept him a little bit healthier than he might have been otherwise.
Aggressive dash in by
But I
Chow.
like the aggression we're seeing out of the Nami lane.
Ooh, we already see some aggressive pings coming around mid. Wonder if we're gonna look at
Yes,
here.
Snow's actually going to look for a 3 camp here, and I think this is the kind of stuff you should be doing on the Nautilus pick, but Kage's being very smart, not overextending the lane. His waves by his turret, just staying back, gank's not going to be found, and ultimately it just wastes a very short amount of Snow's time.
Oh, Blade just barely misses onto Gnome. I don't think they could really be that aggressive. I think. Oh wait, maybe the W pull. Okay. Oh, nothing's coming
Pretty
out
good
there.
damage. It's always hard to know if you're actually beating Kled or not, because if he gets that remount, he can really turn fights. Massive wave pushing into Corn here. I doubt we're going to see a dive angle, but there's a chance that Rat could try to look top. I don't think he'll be there in time.
I mean, if you have a Clyde, you have to at least attempt to dive.
Yeah,
Because
and
Clyde
it looks like
dives
they
are
are
pretty
going to go
strong.
for it. It's going to be really... Ooh, backing off. I think if he'd been there 10 seconds earlier, that for sure would have been an angle, but just a little bit risky at that point. And if Kled doesn't have the mount to start the play, it can be really dangerous because he can't then reset the aggro as easily.
Ooh, wait, this could be a frag.
Oh!
Flash is burned.
Corn? Yeah. I like the aggression out of Corn there, but ends up having to just use his
Aggressive
flash
trade.
because Rat was sticking around.
Big hook. Wait, we can maybe see a frag here. Flash burn, flash follow. And
Great
Fuji gets first
gank.
blood. That was a great gank by Snow.
Yeah, he sees Rat top and knows he has full range to then look for the mid play, and I really like that angle by him. Just kind of walks through, finds the hook. Kage didn't manage to flash the hook, so even though he got flashed out after the fact, at that point, you've taken enough damage to where Fuzier can then flash and follow up the kill. Rat choosing to go for the immediate invade onto the Raptors. I think this is intelligent. He knows that Nollis is
They might
probably
meet
going to
up.
have reset, but we may actually see a meetup here, which, with Korn having first move here, this could be dangerous for Rat. Granted, Kiana is a slippery champion.
Oh, yeah, Rat can just kind of click out there. Although, if they're really adept, they kind of should know that Rat's still in the bush, unless they just don't want to face check.
Yeah, it seems like they're not gonna, really try to do too much on him there. So he does end up, getting the steal away of the Raptors and gets to get out. Serrated Dirk purchase for the Kiana. That's a really strong first buy. We'll be doing a lot of damage when we first see them kind of get involved in some action.
Oh, he saw the pink getting placed. Never mind. They do have total. They've been tracking Snow pretty well right now. Wonder. Oh, he's looking straight into Raptors, but you have a little top trade coming out. I don't think there's gonna be much coming out here though. Although these top trades are interesting, neither have D shield. Oh wait, steal away by Snow. He could maybe be collected by Leona. Stun hits. Snow slowly going down. He does fall, but maybe. Oh. I hate directed cam. Who's the kill top? Oh wait.
So he does get the Kiana back. Jacob is here though, and that's going to end up turning the play. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get another one, but that ends up being a 2-for-2 down there in the jungle fight. But critically, Chow did find the solo kill onto Korn that time with the use of the ignite.
I really do like the aggression on bot lane because, like, we've seen from the first 2 weeks, or well, first 3 weeks, I should say, that QC love to be super duper aggressive in enemy teams' jungles, and Metabusters, they kind of like turned it on them, like, hey, we're gonna be aggressive on your Raptors, and we're gonna be fighting you on these buffs. And it did end up like working out in their favor. Fuji's really strong right now with the big like 25 CS lead, as well as just being up 3 kills.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream spot for Fuzier to start this game, and his team's been playing really well around him.
Aggressive, really. Oh, bubble just misses.
Great sidestep by Drakkar there, but yeah, like Fuzier's 3-0 with a massive CS lead, in large part due to the support that both Nautilus has provided by sticking around his lane, as well as Jacob roaming up critically for the end of that last scuffle we saw.
Yeah, that flash.
That's what you want to see really from big. Jungle and when your jungle and your support are both playing supportive champions, they have to be getting involved by supporting the carries. And with this comp, you're definitely wanting to see that onto the Corki. But I think Korn's probably just dead here.
Okay, Kled and Kiana.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's going to get any better for the Aatrox anytime soon. Definitely a hard spot. Kled alone's hard to deal with, and then you add the fact that Rat's
spotted out Rat. Oh, the Hex Flash over the wall. Maybe they can hook and hit.
Well, the Hex Flash is great.
Oh, still got the jump over.
Yeah, ultimately, Kiana is as slippery as any champion in the jungle, can continuously go over walls, has the invisibility, so hard to ever find a catch there.
Kiana has to go back to like kind of farming bot the top now. They can kind of just keep repeat ganking Korn. It's really hard for Korn to kind of like exist in this top lane. But
extremely hard, yeah. And now I think you really can just start looking for dives on him as well. Anytime Kled has the mount up, he can start the aggro and reset it.
Well, this trade should be favorable for Korn.
Yep,
thanks the
doing
tower
a pretty good job right now.
Oh, with the R, I think he can chase him down.
Pop ult.
Oh, cancels the Leona base. And Leona flashed. Leona might be going too deep. Honestly, I'm really happy with that if I'm Metabusters. You force the Leona to waste so much time. Force Leona flash, and you're going to be getting a free drag right now.
Yeah, they're really daring Korn here. He wants it so bad, but with Leona there, it's so hard.
Oh, it was a nice try.
I thought Korn played that sequence insanely well up until the moment he went a little too far there at the end.
Oh, big flash burn. This could be a dive onto Drakkar. There's no one to help him right now.
Yep. exactly what you need to see. You've put your support top. Hey, we've got a team too. That's what you need to see happen there. Instantly killed your car. Now he's been staying fairly even in CS, but now that lead's actually going to become significant, dropping this entire wave. Really great counterpunch by the side of Metabusters.
But that bot dive just kind of happens because, you know, Corn did waste like a lot of time for the Leona top. Like the Leona was originally going to base like in dot bushing. Corn was super aggressive on the trade. Then it forced Leona to cancel. Then he was aggressive again, forced Leona to cancel again. And finally on like, I think it was the third time, that's when Leona was able to get the kill. But that wasted so much time, leaving Jakar to get dove and lose a lot of CS.
Yeah. That was another kill going on to the Corki. So Fuzier sitting 4-0, has all the kills, the majority of the gold right now. Really strong. Going to be getting to that Trinity Force spike extremely early this game.
Now, it will be annoying
for the Cole as well.
It will be kind of annoying this game because, you know, Kled can't stick onto you like really well after like they did the rework. So doing like a Kled ult into the Leona, it could mean, oh wait, aggressive Zenith Blade. I don't
double
think...
misses. This could be dangerous.
But it's dangerous for QC potentially.
Corki's here.
It could be another kill into for Fuzier, and now they're just dead 2v2.
Yeah, and
wow.
Yeah, they're just not, you know, doing a good job tracking where the mid laner is on the side of QC there. You kind of see the angle for a potential 2v2 win with them sidestepping all of Jacob's abilities, but you know that Corki's off map. He's gonna show up.
Okay, aggressive flash by Kiana. He did not like Jacob there.
No, and that's the power of Kiana. Flash combo is basically impossible to react to. No one has to be a little bit careful here.
So does Snow. That Annie just kind of blast coned over instead of face checking the dry bush.
No, I'm sticking around way too long here. I'm probably gonna end up having to use his flash. Oh, good use of the W.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just a player that knows how to play Kiana.
Knows the
showing
damage
you that
number.
You cannot disrespect his champ right there. Noam dying with flash there is really unfortunate. Just did not think that Snow would have the damage after he blocked 1Q with the W.
Although I don't think it could be understated. Like, Fujir's getting really strong. He's really being aggressive around the map. Like, Annie's been kind of lost with the movements around the map right now.
Yeah, Kage has not impressed me very much so far this game. I think he had the hard first death to that gank. Otherwise, I'd like to see him try to get a little bit more involved in the same way Fuzier's been by trying to roam. I think one thing that Annie does really well is play with the jungler. And with Rat being so strong right now, I'd like to see Annie try to group up with the Kiana and kind of look to find those double burst plays onto people. And I think that'll allow Annie to start impacting this game.
Yo, am I tripping, or has Annie just not been buying items? I only just realized that now.
I'm not sure how Annie's still at that. Annie must have just been sitting in lane for a really long time. If you press X, we'll see how much gold's in their inventory.
X, that's the fun.
So yeah, Annie's sitting on 2,100 gold with teleport up. Definitely wants to spin that soon before the next fight. So Annie will come back pretty strong. That should be close to, if not, probably the Malignance is what I assume they'll buy. And that's always a big item.
Waiting for that.
I mean, at this point, though, they're kind of just, okay, they are going to channel the bag now. We'll see what item they end up with. Fuzier did just pick up the Trinity Force, which is massive.
Oh, wait, we have assistance spin coming out mid. They might be looking to bang Fuzier here.
Yeah, but Annie's damage just isn't that high. I mean, Kiana has plenty of damage, but Annie with no spent yet. Fuzier's going to have to react well here, though. Has his flash of his own, but if he gets double ulted, he's probably dead.
Unless this just turns into a 2v2. Nope. Never mind. Wonder if they... I mean, they shouldn't know.
I think Fuzier's just has the knowledge that, Kiana is off map right now, so choosing not to play too far up makes a lot of sense.
Oh, Jacob!
And Jacob just kind of unfortunate face check. You had vision in that bush, but just kind of just did not react fast enough, and that's all the time Kiana needs to find the burst, and yeah, Kiana can kind of just go bot lane and kill people freely.
Oh no, the Zenith Blade.
Oh no!
Oh, no one should ball here, but that was very unlucky with the E interaction.
That's just, I'm not sure if Noam didn't understand how that interaction worked there, but yeah, reflected the E and ended up sending himself into them. That's one he is going to wish he could get back. really unfortunate considering how well he's played the lane out previously, but that's massive for the side of QC. And importantly, you know, the kill did go on to Leona instead of the Smolder, so you can at least, you know, it could have been worse, I guess, but you know, that's going to allow Smolder to get a ton of turret damage down, and now Smolder has a CS lead, despite the fact that he was down about 25 CS earlier.
And they also lose drag too. Could be. Which one was that? That was it was Mountain.
Yeah, losing drag there. You know, they did get the first one at least, so I think that is good, but yeah, a little unfortunate that they have to give drag there after the bot lane both die.
Yeah, your bot lane's been smurfing so hard this game. Like, it's kind of unfortunate to be losing any drags, like, in the early game.
Yeah, and I think their team composition would really love to be able to, like, force early Dragon Soul fights. Because the side of MetaBusters wants to team fight so heavily, it's going to be difficult to really side lane against a Kled comp.
Well, the Annie did base and, like, get a full item.
Yeah, so I mean, Annie was sitting on a ton of gold, has picked up the Malignants, has the boots, is down in farm, but, you know, staying relevant enough, like equal farm with the Aatrox here, to where I'm going to be looking to see what does Kage do with his first, you know, flash ultimate combo. And
oh, Gnome's just late on the W.
Just a kill.
And just
yeah, they do get out Drakar's ult for nothing, but I mean, you're just seeing the power of the Kiana pick. I mean, it's Rat's best champion as far as I've like aware, and playing it extremely well so far. And as you already mentioned, it's just an extremely strong champion on the patch on top of, you know, his individual mastery. 6-1 on that pick is pretty disgusting right now, looking huge.
We have a very aggressive, big ult onto Jacob. They're just CCing him down, but they're not really leaving anything on the
there
Future.
you saw the Annie power. That's a flash Annie ult. It's just an instant kill, and
Future might fall here.
He trades it back, but at what cost?
Well, I don't know.
I
mean, that's one of the QC's patent in fights in like the jungle.
Yeah, how many times have we seen QC take it to people on the blue buff area so far this season?
Probably
another kill top.
Yeah, and everything's just been kind of falling apart. They had such a good early game.
Yeah, it started off so well, but I think, you know, the top lane matchup is just ultimately kind of snowballed out of control, and I think the bot laners just kind of misplayed against the Kiana a few too many times, and now Rat's just a massive problem that's going to be so difficult to deal with. And on top of that, they have the Smolder carry, like Smolder scaling in their back pocket. I do agree with, you know, Mason in chat though, like just I'm really surprised that the Kiana slipped through draft.
Meaning Kiana's just kind of the best jungle on the patch too.
It's an insane jungler. It's a really strong mid laner, and I think it's Rat's most comfortable champion. So I mean, it's just really surprising that they let that one go through. I think the Nautilus answer has been fine, but Rat has consistently just went to where Nautilus is not, and when Nautilus isn't there, they don't have an ability to stop him. So perhaps, you know, the angle is try to get more coordinated team fights set up, try to find some sort of a group play, have the Nautilus actually able to try to peel the Kiana off of the Mel and the Corki, and then maybe you can look to eventually turn back. Also, if Noam is on point, he can, I believe, reflect the Kiana ultimate. He just did not react fast enough on the previous, you know, chance.
I think, though, it should be like, if you have Kiana dash not away, they could be... Oh, the chicken! What was that?
Uh-oh, watch for Kiana here. Waiting on his dash to go over the wall, but...
Bud's already in. I wonder what Kiana's going to do here. Big chunk on a Jacob.
That may have went off a little bit too far, though.
Oh, they got
big hook on to Kiana, and you see the ultimate.
Oh, stun back from Annie. Oh, big ult from Noam. Kage slowly falling. Wow.
And MetaBusters just absolutely wipes this fight. Corn going a little too deep at the end. It's going to trade one back. That's unfortunate, but overall, an extremely good play by MetaBusters. And you saw exactly what we just mentioned. Nautilus has not been where Kiana has been. This time, he is ultimate onto Kiana, and then follows it up with a hook. And that's all they need to be able to burst Rat down. absolutely massive play by MetaBusters, exactly what they needed to try to get themselves back in this. It's still a 2K gold advantage, but you're happy with that, and now you can kind of see that there's a blueprint to how you can take fights that could work this game, and we'll see if they can replicate that.
There also has been one thing that's been like kind of I've been keeping my eye on. So earlier in the game, if you paid attention to Jacob's inventory, he started off the game with a Vandal Glass Mirror and a Kindle Gem, and then he pivoted later because he realized he wasn't building into Mandate, and now he finally has Mandate. So like this combo of Mel and Nami should actually be doing a lot of damage now. They've been kind of missing out on a lot of damage, especially
Good point.
also with
Good call out.
Gnome starting with Archangels too instead of like either Blackfire or Leandries.
Yeah,
now they're going to be getting a lot of damage now coming out from bot lane, but they really weren't.
Yeah, and critically, yeah, we're hitting these spikes like you just mentioned. You have Jacob with that extra damage support now. You have Snow completing his second item, going for double support item. The Corki is going to be very close to finishing the Man Immune, I believe.
Why do we have two pink wards?
Yes, but he's getting there. And yeah, Noam has the completed Archangel staff, which can actually help quite a lot against all the burst that QC possesses. You see, okay, Chow was really hanging out in that top alcove, I think, hoping that someone was going to walk up and give him a play.
Well, this could be a pick on a
no
Kage into like Otacon after.
Oh yeah, Kage should just be dead here. He does, I believe, Flash is about to be up, but kind of just jukes them out, kind of hard. Okay, well played to him.
Although if they know that Rat's top, I mean, I don't think they should have the knowledge. Well, maybe here they'll get it. Okay, Corn's good spot, or maybe they just start hitting Otacon.
They have spotted him out now, and I do believe you're right. They can just start that. It's going to be really difficult for anyone to walk up. They have the vision control in that bush, and anyone that walks up is going to be threatened by Nautilus. Now, Leona's looking for a flank behind, but there's no one there to follow up. Now, Noam has to be careful not to get caught in transition.
Oh, they have to get off because they can just Kled ult in and kind of just do massive damage.
Yep.
And Aatrox
they brought them down, and I don't expect QC to be able to just stick on it. So in the end, it looks like ultimately it's just going to be a mid turret for QC and no one claiming the Otacon.
If there was a way for them to kind of spot that out earlier, I definitely think they can get it. Oh, Rat's looking for Jacob here. Oh, big cancel. Oh, nice.
Oh, he flashes the bubble. But Jacob managed to dodge the majority of the damage.
Jacob. And
extremely well played by Jacob there.
They got two flashes.
That's massive. That's Jungler dead. At minimum, I think that's Otacon. Oh, but a great answer by Chow to use that Rift Herald top lane. Gonna force someone to come back and deal with him. So a good punish. Yeah. So, QC's not just losing everything on the map there. They do lose jungle, and that should be Otacon. Oh, no, a little bit of danger here.
Does bring the ignite in the ult there. But I think you take that for flash. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, nice job by Chow. Gets a turret, gets a second hit, and burns Mel flash. Mel not having flash against a team comp of Annie, Kled, Kiana is going to be really dangerous for Noam to try to survive until that summoner's back up. And critically, he will not have flash at this next dragon fight. So I think we're really going to have to track, what value does Noam not having flash, end up resulting in for QC.
No. I haven't wanted to look at it once. I'm going to click on the smolder icon and see what the stacks are looking like. Uh-oh.
Let's see.
206.
206.
He
that's good, I believe.
Or it'll be close.
I think he'll probably get it.
Maybe during mid-fight.
Yeah, I mean, all it's going to take is W hitting a couple players with how much farm he can get between now and then to probably have it, and that's going to be a pretty massive damage spike to watch for.
Play onto Rat here. Oh.
Yeah, critically, Kiana doesn't have flash this
that's
time.
massive damage.
Oh, wow. That's just huge by Foosier. Oh!
That champion's OP.
Rat just told him to sit down. Okay. I see what Foosier's going for there. I really thought he had the damage to kill, but just you saw the full combo of Kiana was ultimately enough to kill him, and that's really unfortunate for Fuzier. Playing an insanely good game so far, 8-1 before that mistake, ends up dying, and that's
For
just
flashing
snowballs into
for
Jacob getting
Nami?
caught trying to base, and that's just probably going to be Dragon now for the side of QC, and I think probably Fuchsia should have just taken the damage, taken the chunk. You had Kiana forced to dash over the wall. I think just the flash to follow was just a little too much. And, you know, once again, Rat showing his mastery on this champion made him pay.
No, I think it. I think this whole what was that hook? He could have gotten super punished. Anyway, so far in this game, like Meta Busters, so many times they've gotten like a good start to it, a little sequence, but they always just like kind of overstay their welcome and they end up losing in the very end, like as because of them overstaying too much. Although one thing that, like with the kill onto Jacob, like now with Nash coming up, they can't really be aggressive with like any flash Annie ults for a little while.
Yeah,
They
you're
will.
right. Annie not having flash is always a big cooldown to watch. Limits their engage a little bit, but, you know, they're playing Annie with a comp that has so much engage that it's not like Annie has to be the one to start the fight, so can still look to follow up someone like Leona. And there's Smolder with those execute has hit that stack
Ooh.
threshold, and you see how confident
Wait,
they're
Hex
feeling
Flash.
at this point.
We have Snow on a flank. We also have Rat
Snow doesn't
coming in
have
on a
Hex
flank.
Flash. Snow has actual Flash up. We'll see if he chooses to try to join. This is so dangerous. Kiana's going to find a massive ult here on the
Three.
3.
Here comes Annie.
Snow is
Flash out.
now at the
Oh,
fight. Can he do anything, though? And I'm afraid not.
man, that was just so much damage out from the Kiana.
Snow positioning over that wall, but without the Hex Flash, he either has to flash or he's never going to be involved in that play. And the other jungler, Rat, just walked around, and when you saw 3 clumped on that wall, I think everybody that knows how Kiana works just knew that was never going to be a good play for Metabusters, and this should probably just be the game. And
Here
kind of
they go
crazy that
for.
this game, may just end here at 26 minutes. But that's what can happen when you have a 5-for-0 ace, and yeah, QC is just gonna, in a pretty dominating fashion, end up taking this game 1. Well played to them.
So we're banning Kiana next game?
I mean, I guess, like, I don't get why they left it open. I don't even feel like they had that good of an answer into it. Like, yeah, the Nautilus is fine, but if you know you're playing into Kiana, or probably going to be playing into Kiana, I don't think Nami's a very good pick into it. I think you want a little more crowd control, and yeah, just Rat punished him. And unless you disagree, I think it's probably pretty clear that it's probably Rat getting MVP for game 1 with that Kiana performance.
Oh yeah,
Thought
I
he just
wasn't even
played
thinking about
really,
it, but
really
yeah,
well.
that's right.
Played really, really well.
I mean,
You
I
know,
think
to be
I
fair, go ahead.
I didn't hate Metabuster's game like for most of that. It was kind of just like a lot of greedy stuff where they didn't really have to.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I thought Quinn had some poor deaths. I thought bot lane you saw multiple times. I mean, I think the most egregious one was when Noam just refused to back up when Kiana was 1v1 with him down on the wave, and he just gets walked down and killed with flash up. Like, those kills just allowed Kiana to start snowballing, and as soon as Rat did that, he just kept killing him. And I think with the power of Corki, with how strong Corki was, and with how the Nautilus pick was, shown to work the few times they got a good fight, I think I see what they're trying to do to the Kiana, but they just didn't play clean enough. I mean, straight up, like, they didn't take good fights. They got caught out, and when you're playing against these assassin-y type characters, just one or two of those mistakes is all it can take to kind of put the game in a really hard spot. Also, we got to give a shout out to Chow, though, too. Played an extremely
yeah,
good
really
game
good
on the
game
Kled.
talent.
Found that counter pick onto the blind pick Aatrox. That was Chow's first game of Kled in the server. Looked really, really comfortable on it. I was kind of questioning. I think it's a great matchup, but, Korn has so much experience on Aatrox. Perhaps, that knowledge can give him an edge. No. Chow played the Kled immaculately, clearly has played the champ a lot, or at least has played it enough to feel comfortable on it, and just executed the counter pick to perfection. Really punished Corn, and I think for Metabusters to do well, typically their success rides on Corn's performance. So I'd like to see them try to get him in a little bit better of a spot this time. That being said, we talked about it in draft. They chose to blind pick Aatrox and give Snow last pick. I don't think R5 Nautilus, even if like that's the jungle that makes sense in that spot, is enough value that game to justify putting Corn into this terrible matchup. I'd like to see them try to give him counter pick this time around if possible, especially when all of his champions are open. Like Corn would have been on R5 with the option to choose between Darius, Aatrox, Renekton, Ornn, like whatever he wanted, he would have gotten a good matchup. So I would like to see them make that adaptation. Yeah, there's some concern about, well, you want to give Snow counter because he's into probably Jakar or Rat, but I ultimately think Jungle's a little bit less exploitable by counter pick than top lane is.
So one thing that's a little bit weird about that counter pick junk is that Metabusters are first pick in this game. They have blue side. I
So
wonder
they've
what pick.
opted for the first pick.
I don't know
Yeah.
who they're gonna take.
I would assume
But
probably Smolder is the reason you would switch to blue. I don't think, being on red was necessarily the problem for them. It's not like, going blue will allow them to free up a Kiana ban. It's not like they banned Smolder. Um,
I don't think any of them know how to play Kiana either.
no, I don't think so. So yeah, I think, maybe their hope was that, Kiana would get first picked and then they would get to play Smolder. I don't know. But yeah, as you just said, I don't think anyone on Metabusters plays the Kiana, so they got to get Smolder and Kiana, which the first two picks of the draft was already setting them up for a hard draft, and then you end up with the Kled kind of Omega counter pick. So with Metabusters being on blue side this time around, I'm watching. Will they get Smolder? If they don't get Smolder, does Zed get banned by QC on red side, or are they going to tell Snow, if you want to first pick it, go ahead, we'll counter you? Because I would assume that Metabusters isn't going to allow QC to play it. I don't think you would drop the Zed for the Kiana if you're going to drop a ban, but we're already in draft. Enough talking. We'll see exactly what they're going to choose to do.
Same strategy as last
Yep,
game so
so far.
far.
So is the Zed ban on 3 for Metabusters last game? Will they maintain that ban, or are they going to choose to leave that open? Otherwise, all bans are the same so far.
Okay,
So
Kiana.
Kiana is going to be chosen. I don't hate that, but now you almost feel forced to first pick the Zed, or else you're going to give that over to Jakar. And if you choose to do that, that's just going to be another Smolder game, most likely for the side of QC.
But I think
Right.
no, they played like a really good game of they first picked Smolder. Oh,
Okay, so they feel that the Kiana is more dangerous than the Zed. We'll see if Jakar chooses to go for that. It'll be one of the first times all season in team format that I believe that champion's been left open for him as a possibility. And yeah, just gonna choose to take it. And I was thinking they were going to first pick Snow Zed, and my thought process was, Zed's actually a pretty good threat onto Smolder. So maybe you think it's okay to give them that, but they think the Smolder's better than the Zed, and so now I'm kind of concerned for whoever's piloting Smolder to try to live against Drakar's Zed. We will see. Um, I don't
I
know if Noam would even play Smolder. So perhaps they're going to go with role flex. Fuzier could potentially play at mid lane.
think mid makes
But
sense.
Jin is going to be the answer, which I don't believe I've actually seen anyone, pick Jin as the answer into Smolder in server yet so far. So that'll be a little bit of an interesting look.
No one even plays Smolder in Pro. I was legit about to open up like Game of Legends really quick. I'm like, oh, let's see, what are the pros doing? Like, none of the pros go Smolder. What? How would we know?
Right. Yeah, I don't think Smolder is so broken. It's kind of found sometimes, as you are well aware, Scrim Zone will kind of build its own meta, and it's been Smolder kind of taking the meta by storm. And with the Ash pick coming through, I would expect that's going to be Smolder mid.
Smolder mid with Snow on 80 carry playing Ash. Is that what that means?
I would almost be certain that's what it means. I really don't expect them to put Noam on Ash. I've never seen him play that, and I think Snow is a pretty good Ash player. My thought process is also Fuzier played the Corki pretty well that game and got to kind of scale through
When
lane for free. So maybe their thought is that Fuzier can just
the
play
blue champ
Smolder into Kage and do fine, but
Aurelia, we're just picking
Aurelia.
anything.
Yeah, we're just picking anything. Gwen is obviously a flex pick. Could go jungle, could go top.
Oh wait, we didn't lock in the Aurelia. I
Syndra,
thought we locked in the Aurelia.
yeah, I think Syndra makes a lot of sense here. So this is almost certainly going to be Rat mid on Syndra with Drakkar jungle on Zed. Rat played a really good Syndra against your team, New York Nutbusters. Really dominated the lane that series and just got a massive advantage that was really hard for the other team to deal with. If he's into Smolder, I think that's a pretty similar spot, to be honest. If it ends up being Smolder mid into Syndra, I think that's a really hard matchup for the Smolder. We'll see if they have the ability to potentially flex Smolder top, like we've seen, Blake choose to do. Um,
I
but yeah, I mean, I think Smolder's locked between bot and, or excuse me, between top and mid at this point. I'd be really shocked if we somehow saw like Ashe support with Smolder 80 carry. I wouldn't expect that to be in the cards.
think one thing that we also kind of like skipped over is that they locked in Gwen. I don't know who's going Gwen. Is that Corn playing
You
Gwen?
know,
Is Corn
they
gonna?
clearly think it's Jungle Gwen, considering the fact that they're choosing to, ban out Ornn, ban out Scion, um,
I mean,
Braum in
the
the
blue
end.
champion's kind of wicked, aka Gwen. Gwen is kind of a wicked champion.
Yeah, QC has like no front line right now, so you're definitely going to be looking to see top lane and support kind of pick up that mantle and give them some engage, give them some CC. Nihilus will do that job perfectly.
This seems like kind of so different now. Like UC is locking into like all these hyper aggressive like supports. Like we've seen like nothing but like Tarek, Braum, saw a Karma game, but now they kind of swapped it up. Now going Leota and Nautilus. I think is a little interesting.
Aggressive look for them this week and did really well in game one playing that style.
I just wonder what these last two picks are, because like it's gonna define like, okay, is Gwen going top or jungle?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah, Corn's forced to blind pick here again. You almost certainly can't blind pick the Aatrox this time around, and maybe the Darius, maybe a Renekton.
Leona? I kind of
The
Leona
Ornn
beats
would be
Nautilus.
his safest blind, but that's gone.
Hmm.
Jacob's Leona is obviously a really comfortable pick, and it plays fine in the Nautilus, but I'm really concerned for what Corn's going to try to do here
I think he
with,
just goes Renekton. I think you just go Renekton. You need some more early game. Oh, Sion's
going to
good too.
choose to go for the Scion. A little bit less counterable, perhaps, than, the Renekton or the Darius. And you already do have Gwen, so I think, having more of a tank front line does make sense. Um, but we'll see. So it's almost certainly at this point going to be Fuzier piloting the Smolder mid, and we'll have to see if it's Noam or Snow playing bot lane.
Maokai. We're picking
Chow,
anything.
Chow going for the Maokai, but I mean, Maokai's actually one of Chow's most comfortable champions, to my understanding. He's shown, this previous game on Kled and last week playing some games of like Akali and some other picks that he has, carries in his bag. But I think coming into the server, if you just looked at Chow's stats and what his most like um, played champs are all time, definitely look to be a bit more of a tank player. And so I think things like the Maokai are just right up in his wheelhouse, really comfortable on. I know for a fact that he played an extremely good Maokai game um, in their series against Rift Sharks, against our team. And Chow just is a player that's really not afraid to drop his own resources to show up and support his team. And with having these Zed, Syndra, Jin, that's the perfect kind of comp to do that strategy for. Uh, so I think having that guaranteed lockdown onto champions like the Smolder and the Ashe can really set up Zed, Syndra, and Jin to find damage.
I have like many thoughts, but like I still need to kind of see like who's going where. Like I can't like
The only question for me is who's going where for Meta Busters. And
yeah.
I would really expect that it's going to be Noam on the Gwen. I mean, I've just not seen Noam play Ashe. Perhaps it's in his bag, so I'm not trying to be dismissive of that strategy, but I would expect you probably try to run Snow on that.
Yeah.
But if it is still Snow jungle, then at least this time around we're seeing Snow go back to more of a carry pick with the Gwen versus the more supportive pick. The carry Gwen's a lot more similar to what he was playing last week.
I mean, I guess that just does make the most sense. Like, you have Snow play Gwen, and Gwen can be like super duper annoying this game. Like, hold on, let me pull the draft back up. Like Gwen, like seeing a champion like Maokai, seeing a champion like Nautilus, like you should just be feasting. And if you can like get a perfect time like W on like the push by Syndra, like you'll be feasting on Syndra too. Like there's a lot of characters this game that it's gonna be a really hard time kind of dealing with Gwen if Gwen can get accelerated.
Yeah. I will say though, I think Rat showed a really high level of Syndra play. His previous performance did a really good job of like threat assessment and recognizing, when does he need to flash, what abilities does he have to dodge. And while yes, you do have, Asholt, you have Leona, it's not a ton of threat onto Syndra. Like if he positions well and has flash, I could see it being kind of difficult for them to actually end up touching Syndra um, when your jungler isn't playing something that has that engage, something like a Jarvan, something like an Amumu, something like a Zac, it can be a lot harder for you to ever threaten the Syndra pick. And I've already said I think Syndra is going to play extremely well into Smolder. I think this is going to be a hard lane for Fuzier. So my biggest concern for MetaBusters this time around isn't actually the top lane matchup. It's going to be the mid lane matchup. Uh, with Rat almost certainly being the one going mid on the Syndra, I think this is a really big test for Fuzier to show, can he hang, you know, with him in this lane, with this matchup, and be able to scale. Because sure, if Smolder scales, it's there, but if misplayed, I could see Syndra, generating enough of an advantage to where it's going to be hard for Smolder to ever really do anything.
I mean, if we do also kind of like think back to their past couple weeks when they have this kind of synergy of like Drakkar and Rat, we didn't really get to see it in that game. Like they weren't as aggressive in enemy jungle until kind of like 15 16 minute, like that's when they did that blue buff play.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of when like Drakkar can actually like really influence those fights as well and be there. So now we should be like seeing way more aggressive early game fights.
Yeah, Rat kind of really went and just got his own last game on the Kiana jungle. Really just kind of found his own advantage off picking off members. Whereas, as you're saying, in previous weeks when it's been Drakkar and Rat mid jungle, they've done a very good job of playing for each other and setting each other up. So I expect we'll see a little bit more of a return for that than for them this game. And they've done a very good job so far of finding like creative gank angles onto mid lane. So I would not be surprised at all to see Zed hanging out around mid and really them trying to punish the Smolder and put it behind. Because if Smolder does get behind, you have a mid and jungle composition that are both kind of weak early, both have to scale, and both have no CC for Zed or Syndra. So if Gwen Smolder does fall behind, I could see this game becoming extremely difficult for the side of MetaBusters to play. So gonna have to see how they manage to navigate this kind of tricky early game.
I also didn't mention it, but like we are like 1 minute away from the game. Fugier's like obviously playing mid Smolder. We have Gnome on Ashe 80 carry, and we have
Okay.
Snow on Gwen.
Well, I'm excited to see that then. It is Snow kind of staying in jungle, staying on a much more carry pick. So I like that for him. Curious to see how Noam does on the Ashe. I don't believe I've seen him play that pick before. I do think Ashe is a pretty good champion. I think it can play pretty well into Jhin. Not really going to say that matchup's like hard favoring either side, but clearly felt like Mage wasn't the answer, wanted to go for a more traditional AD carry, and so I'm excited to see this look out of Noam. We did see the Ezreal game last series, but if I recall correctly, that was the same game they had like AP Twitch mid and or something like that, and ended up not being really that much of a
Well, the
game.
the only thing Gnome has to do is get good intelligence from the Ashe Hawk shot and hitting the whatever crystal arrow, and like just hitting like a stun on like a Zed or a Syndra in any of these fights. It could just be like game warping. for them.
Definitely, you are right there. The Ash Arrow will be a really critical cooldown to watch. If you can ever catch Syndra out with that, that's definitely a way to find those kills. Same thing with Zed. But at the same time, Ash, other than the ultimate, really has no self peel and has to be very careful of Syndra and Zed, both of those ultimates on their side being kind of one shot machines as we get later into the game. Runes, nothing really standing out to me. Yeah, pretty standard stuff across the board. You know, Kage opting to take the cleanse. That's pretty common when you're playing into something like an Ashe and a Leona. Fuzier going for the fleet footwork. That makes sense. Both junglers opted for Conqueror. Gwen choosing to have the Ghost. And we're going to kind of see a tank v tank top lane matchup. So nothing too shocking here at level 1.
No weird like aggressive kind of invades happening either.
Yeah, Chow did opt to go for that tier first item. Maokai, one of his biggest weaknesses is having mana issues in the lane phase, so tier definitely helps with that. We'll see if that allows Korn to really get any sort of an advantage with like the extra healing and sustain power of the Doran shield. But ultimately, I think this ends up being kind of a hard matchup for Sion. Yes, Sion will scale. I don't expect Sion to really die. But Chow will be able to consistently this game kind of cancel Sion's Q charge with his own little Bramble Smash. So I think the micro is a little bit Maokai favored in that matchup.
One thing I kind of find very interesting is that Zed is pathing from bot to top instead of doing like top down.
Yeah.
I do think, you know, pathing into the Sion's really weird. I wonder if the card's gonna look for some like weirdo invade play, like you go blue Gromp.
Yeah,
Wolf,
they do
invade.
have the information. They have the information on the Raptors that show that that was where, or that camp is up, I suppose. So perhaps he looks to go for the Raptors following this, but no, just going to do a full clear going into his top side, and just chose to start opposite side. He'll know that Gwen's jungle is down top side, so we'll see if he chooses to look for a gank mid or top, or if he'll just take like a quick reset following the crab. We will see. Korn getting some good damage out early in that matchup. Maokai obviously has the sustain with his passive, as you see right there, to get a little bit of healing back. Good damage down by Rat.
Look, the mid lane's just gonna be a stack fest. Let's see who can hit their kind of spikes first.
It's a stack fest, but I do believe the Syndra does quite a bit more damage in the attempt of reaching those stacks, and that's really the hard part for Smolder. But as long as he can kind of hang with the farm, I think he'll be fine.
One thing I think
and yeah, Drakkar just went for an instant base. Didn't even wait on Crab to spawn, just chose to take an instant base. It's going to run down towards bot side. I think that makes sense. That's where they have the priority with the Nautilus Gen lane. And perhaps we'll find Gwen looking to get this Crab and kind of take him off guard, or just get it himself and maybe even eventually look for a double Crab.
Oh, interesting. Like
Gwen with either just knowledge or intuition
just
had a
goes
feeling
right to top
that
crab. Yeah, that's interesting.
it had no business being bot side, and yeah, it's just gonna choose to go for top crab. They do see Drakkar crossing through lane. We'll see if Gwen can get this. We'll have W. Yeah, so that's just really intelligent by Snow there. I mean, if he's even a half second more hesitant on running to that top crab, he does not end up getting that, and it would have been a double crab. So, you know, credit to him on securing that, and so far jungle's pretty even.
Ooh, aggressive hook in. They can look to trade back on a null. It's pretty heavy here.
Big damage. They have the ignite. With the reload coming through, though, the damage does pause, and that's enough for Jacob to walk out. Still actually held on to his exhaust, too. Didn't even use that. So it ends up just being one summoner in the ignite for a good chunk of Jacob's health bar. And another just good damage out of Korn. Like, you know, he's putting in pressure, but ultimately, as long as Maokai doesn't die, the health doesn't actually matter. Maokai is managing to still stay well farmed.
Oh, another hook in.
Another hook.
And nothing's gonna really come out of it. I mean,
Yeah,
both bot laners are gonna be kind of looking to recall soon. I think Kage with that W, he's really gonna look to recall here too.
Paul M playing the lane out really well so far on the Nautilus pick, finding hook after hook.
Well, this could be, if
this
we
is
hit
where
the
Fusion's
stun,
probably
oh,
in
it should be
trouble.
first blood on the Fusion.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
neither
know.
mid laner had backed yet, and you're just seeing the danger of that pick. Like, if Syndra's hitting these stuns consistently, it's so hard for Smolder, and as you saw, just a really easy gank for Jakar. Just swoops in, doesn't even have to burn his flash. No one ends up burning flash, and that's a kill onto Syndra, first blood.
Ooh, they could maybe look for something here, bot. Kage flash forward, Q. Ooh!
Ooh! I like that confidence by Kage, but Jacob with a quick flash himself will ultimately keep him alive. And, you know, perhaps now that's an angle for Metabusters to try to punish a flashless Jhin. We'll see if they can do anything while that summoner is down. But overall, really good plays for QC on the map. Yeah, that gives Syndra quite a bit of an advantage in gold in this lane. Now that they have the Lost Chapter plus an Amplifying Tome up against purely the Caulfield's Warhammer.
Ooh, could this
there's really
hard?
not
This
gonna
could be a
any-
kill angle.
Oh.
I didn't really want to comment because I didn't think that. Oh,
No, while I'm.
the flash.
Oh!
Wait. The hit. Oh,
Wow. Really well played by Korn there to find that kill.
aggressiveness by Fusion. Really helping.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful here. Syndra has ultimate.
And use Nautilus too. I really like the aggressiveness from Fusion to really buy space for Snow to hit drag, but
Yeah, but ultimately, I think, you know, it's kind of like they're feinting the pressure because, yeah, he pushes him off, but with the power of Syndra, you always have to end up giving up that position. But credit to Korn, found that nice solo kill, ended up getting him even with both flashes getting burned, but perhaps he overstayed his welcome and is just going to get traded back, which is definitely unfortunate.
that's a hashtag Bausian good death. That's a good death. Chow just lost a whole wave top, and now I think the wave should be slow pushing into him, although there could be a solo. Ooh. Doesn't
Perhaps? I don't know.
That's a Baus good death.
We'll call it a Baus death. I don't know if it was good or
No,
bad.
it was a Baus good
But,
death.
in the end, that is, Korn does base now, gets to spend his gold, critically dodged the stun there. That was going to be a dead Fusion. Rat's sitting there holding the ultimate. Fusion has to reset.
I don't really like the exhaust too much.
Yeah, did the exhaust get put down on Nautilus there? I didn't quite see. Yeah, not going to be much value there. Needs to save that for Jhin, and with the cleanse coming through, just instantly got out of Noam's ultimate, and you could kind of tell that a kill on the Jacob was coming this lane with how many hooks Paul had been hitting, and they finally had the damage to convert. So just really good stuff out of the bot lane 2v2 of Kage and Paul.
I mean, this lane has, like, you know, the Leona versus Nautilus matchup. There's like multiple different ways that it could be played. Like a lot of support players, like when you're learning the role, you probably stumbled across like where JJ made like a support guide like a very long time ago, like 6 years ago, and there's like a lot of niche interactions for Nautilus versus Leona that can really turn the favor in the other's favor, and it's kind of dependent on who throws out their long range CC first. Like if
Oh, watch Nautilus here, though. Sorry, not to cut you off, but looking for a play onto Smolder.
Nah, there's nothing happening here.
It's like, it'll be okay.
It could be maybe like a Grubs play. But pretty much like this bot lane is just who can hit their stun first. Although, Cow kind of edging his ult down.
Korn's
This could
just
be a kill.
not respecting the fact that they're off map.
Ooh.
Well, that's an interesting interaction.
I thought maybe he would sneak in front of him.
No, it doesn't look like it does. It does not put him in front, I guess. So he does manage to get out there. Realistically, though, it's unfortunate he even has to burn the ult. You knew that the mid jungle was walking up. And right now, the power of Rat plus Jakar together is such insane 1v1 damage, as you see right there.
We have a stun.
Oh, big Ash ult, though! On Jakar, that's actually a massive turn, potentially. Jacob's not looking for the Zed, though. Like, what?
And no one's caught. Oh, wait, he has to flash, and he's going to be able to just barely live.
Oh, that was such a good Ash ult. I think Jacob just kind of... I'm not sure if he thought Zed was already dead or what, but chose to try to walk more towards the Syndra, and that ends up resulting in both players getting
I
out. And
think no
so
one just gets
overall, it ends
dove
up
here.
just being
Oh, misses the hook. Although Kage is
a
tanking early, and
maybe
Gwen gets a
trades
kill on the
back.
Jin. It's actually pretty solid for Gnome.
I mean, it's a kill back for Gnome. He is going to miss some minions, so I mean, it's okay. But
Kill
yeah,
goes to Nautilus. It's hashtag worth.
yeah, you saw the power there though of the Zed or the Syndra plus Zed. They each have these like single target ultimates that just are all about blowing up one target. And I mean, Snow just without flash, he opted to take the ghost, just was out of position and got chased down and killed. And that's the power right there. You've got both players farming extremely well between Jakar and Rat, and
Oh,
both looking really strong. But it might have bit off more than you can chew. No, just has the shadow to get back out.
I mean, it's good for UC because you got the 2 grubs, so now you get the little feet. Right now, there is like a 3k gold lead for QC, and I think I could potentially like balance out, like all the scaling, because like they also have a lot of scaling on their own, like with the Syndra.
Yeah, the Syndra is a big scaler this game. But yeah, I mean, the early game has gone as you would want it to for the side of QC. I don't think it's surprising to see them generate some sort of advantage. We already talked about how hard it's going to be for Smolder and Gwen to, get to their scaling. As of right now, it's a 2.7k gold lead. That's bigger than you would like it to be for the side of Metabusters, but it's not so big that it's like unattainable to find a way to narrow that gap at some point. We're gonna need to watch and see once these first item spikes come in for the side of Metabusters, if maybe at that point, which one of them just did, the Essence Reaver has been completed. Gwen should be getting close to that Nashor's Tooth. Perhaps on those item spikes is when they can start to try to fight back. And you do see Gwen backing here, I assume, to purchase the Nashor's Tooth. Just going to elect to give this first jungle or first dragon. Not really any way to fight this.
Oh, I kind of forgot that no one got the first drag, because I kind of just thought like Gwen hitting it earlier when Fuji was kind of like playing aggressive. Kind of thought Gwen got it, but I mean, just getting first drag now, it's honestly okay. It's not the end of the world at all.
You're fine to give one. Oh!
Double sun's burned? Oh.
Oh,
I
doesn't manage to connect that.
Oh, this is an interesting ult. I think Fuji should still be fine here.
Yeah, just Rat was not quite in range to follow up on Paul's CC there, but yeah, pretty unfortunate that they were not able to kill Jin. I mean, that's why he has the flash, why he has the cleanse.
See how OP Gwen is.
Is on that one item spike.
But
And Kage walked back up this time.
Ooh.
So it ends up being a kill onto Snow and a kill onto Kage. It's good that the side of Metabusters was finally able to punish the fact that Nautilus has been roaming, but again, the Zed is just looking like a really comfortable answer into the Gwen. And to be fair to Gwen, both times that he has died, Syndra has roamed and moved, but that's just expected if you've locked Smolder mid in. Like, your laner's never going to really have priority with that blind pick, and, is struggling to deal with, the added power of Rat constantly being there to support Jakar.
One thing I think is like kind of interesting about this game, like with this top matchup specifically, I don't know why Corn just didn't try and go into Hollow Radiance instead of going for Sunfire Aegis. Considering just like the Maokai went first time Leandry's, like I don't feel like Sion should be taking this much damage and can actually have threat. There seems like there's a lot of times where Sion could kill this Maokai, but just having the AD Bambi item just makes it so he can die.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he went for that Leandry's first, as you're talking about, and
oh, he could maybe fall here.
He's doing a lot of damage.
Oh, that's what I did with the Q though.
Another hook.
Oh, wait, this could be a kill onto Kage.
Doesn't have cleanse this time.
Have to get it fast.
Here comes
Zed. Gets here. TP coming in from
Syndra. Yeah, it's just gonna be a kill.
Syndra,
I don't even think Jacob can get out here. Yeah, no.
Oh, but Smolder got a kill top in exchange too, so kind of just roam top.
Yeah, nice job by Fuji finding that roam and converting a kill there, and good job by Noam and Jacob to again find a 2v2 kill. They are making it hard for Kage to play this time, but you're just seeing the power of the mid jungle of Jakar and Rat right now. Just show up bot and pick up 2.
Ooh, Ghost Burn.
Uh-oh, is
Jakar
there some
does
rundown
have
potential
flash.
here? Jakar has ult here though. Like, oh, and he
a nice
dodges the
immune.
Q.
Although with the oh,
That's just outplayed Snow there. I mean, it was use the ultimate on the Zed, the death mark, to dodge out on the, I believe that was the Gwen R3, third cast, which is the majority of her damage, and with that dodge, just kind of outplays Snow. Well
yeah, I
played to
thought
Jakar.
maybe with like, was it is the W the big snip or is that the Q? Oh, W is the immune.
Her snip is the Q, the W is the big field
Yeah.
that makes her untargetable. But against a
It's a
champion
good
like
ulti
Zed, you're
time.
not getting too much value with that W because he's always going to be on top of you for the most part. So yeah, the Gwen counter pick not finding too much value yet. You know, perhaps I don't know what his build will look like. If down the road, maybe he can look for like a 3rd, 4th, 5th item Zanya's if we get that far. Perhaps that could help out, but as of right now, Jakar is just having his way on this game.
Although Snow should be able to pick up a kill.
See, now this is a champion that Gwen does want to be fighting. Very happy to play against something like the tank Maokai, but is able to just get out. And here comes Jakar.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing in the first game where like Meta Busters can get something, but if QC just get extended a little bit, then they're gonna just win on every engagement. Now Jakar's 2 levels up on Snow.
You have to play.
Oh,
and that's probably just another kill.
Oh, he lives.
I guess I will say, you know, the flash ult by Syndra.
Does he have another stack of R? Oh no, he doesn't.
CC from Maokai is enough to get him there. You kind of saw the angle that time. I believe Snow actually dodged, or let's see what happens here first, but looks like it's going to be a 2v2 kill down there. Man, well played all around to decide a Qualmless Chillers this game, but you saw a little bit of the Gwen angle that I had not considered before. I believe he actually dodged the detonation, the 2nd damage point of Zed's ultimate by being, you know, outside of the W of Gwen. So I do see that value, but just you're a little too far behind at this point, and the CC power of the Syndra and the Maokai is just enough to really make it hard for Gwen to play out this game.
I think now, just slowly but surely, though, the game's just gonna keep exploding. I don't even think like once you know you hit your smolder stack threshold. Let me click on 134. Probably won't get it for another 8 to 9 minutes. And I think
we saw Smolder hit what at like 21 minutes last game, 22 minutes.
It's so hard. Yeah. I mean, it's probably just gonna. Oh wait, should be a kill on Jacob.
And another hook. Paul M has been on point this game, just constantly finding Jacob.
Looking at R.
Does he have the damage here to just kill him outright?
Maybe if they delay, no.
Okay, Noam's ultimate will
get a chance to turn
keep Jacob alive. I don't know if Fujer can be here. This may just be a kill.
Oh no, it could be a kill for Fujer. Oh, never mind.
His team has arrived.
I thought that actually could have been a good look for Fujer, but just the whole team was around in the area.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for him to even defend that turret. I mean, he was aware that Zed was damn near diving the base on Leona, but chose to stick around and try to get that 1v1. But, you know, QC is so aware of the map that, you know, they're always going to collapse on that and support their teammate, and it ends up, you know, keeping Rat alive and getting another kill on.
They were looking to get a kill on a Chow at least. If this could at least go to Snow, maybe there's a chance. Oh, it goes to...
Oh, Sion gets the kill. That is not what you want to see.
Or
I mean,
maybe
at least,
there is
you know,
no chance.
It's a good collapse. They do find that, but it's a little unfortunate that the gold is not able to be gifted onto someone like the Gwen. So hard for Smolder to even step up to this turret at this point.
Let me check some gold here really quick. Oh, Smolder's got no money. Yeah, that's Otacon.
Smolder's down 3K. No, press that again, please. I want to see. Smolder's down
Ooh,
3K.
3K.
Zed's down
Ooh.
3.5K. Yeah, the mid jungle is just so massively in the favor of QC right now that it's just really difficult for the side of MetaBuster. And this is what we talked about in the pregame. I said that I see it being really challenging for like the double scaling of Gwen Smolder to survive. And when you're playing up against players of Rat and Drakar's caliber, like they're gonna find a way to put that pressure on you. And if you don't play flawlessly, this is kind of what can happen. And I do think, in hindsight, I don't think Gwen's really the best champion to pair with Smolder. Like, as soon as you first pick Smolder, I don't think you want to go for some weak early game jungle with no crowd control. Like, I think either pick is fine, but I think pairing those together is kind of some anti-synergy there. It's getting a little too greedy in your draft. Um, if you got the Gwen, I think you want a mid laner that's a little bit more supportive, or at least has a decent amount of crowd control to set her up, since she has none. And if you're playing Smolder, it's kind of the same exact thing. You want a jungler that doesn't need like full recon or full economy, so that they can kind of help out Smolder's weakness, which is the early game, and then they have crowd control to set up Smolder. But it's just so hard for them to deal with both the Zed and the Syndra.
Now I do. Hold on. Let me. What? How much gold do you need to have full Rabadon? Is it 11? Like once you have two needlessly?
It's 11, yes. They need 1100.
Hmm.
So yeah, Rat's
Because
gonna be getting close to that, right?
yeah, he's gonna have like
Yeah.
full Rabadon soon. I kind of just assume like any fight once that gets bought till about when Soul comes up is just completely off the table for metabusters. I mean, they
Yeah.
might attempt to force something like right here. Like if you could force something right here and then somehow immediately run to top to maybe get Otacon, but I think we're kind of seeing like the last chance that even if you want to throw like a miracle play for metabusters for like a really long time.
Yeah, and I just really don't agree with Metabusters drafting this series. Like game one, they gave over the Kiana and got swiftly punished, and then game two, they give over the Zed and got swiftly punished. Like they gave Rat his best champion, then they gave Drakar like one of his best champions that he's been permabanned off of. Both games, I assume they feel like these were answers, but game one, I saw a little bit more of the vision with like the Nautilus answer into Kiana. I don't see it this time around, and it kind of just feels like both these games have ended up not being particularly close because these assassin champions with players that are really strong on them have just been able to kind of take over the lobby. And we do have some scaling here that we can be hopeful for. If you're still cheering for metabusters, you can hope you can get some Smolder online, you hope you can get the Gwen online, and perhaps you can. But as you've just said, it's the moment Syndra gets that death cap, no one can be in her range.
Kind of just have to wait for a little while until like, Sign gets Volcanic Rooknern. I mean, maybe you can get like some miracle play with, like the Gwen ult muting this or the Gwen W muting Syndra ult. Like maybe you can get that weirdo kind of interaction. It's gonna be like you just have to get some weirdo engage. And I mean, like when you have Scion and Ashe, like you can get weird angles, but it's just gonna be really
I
hard.
I'll just I don't know. They Taxi asked what they banned in draft, and they opted to go for like the Akali and the Yasuo bans both games and switch out if it was Kiana or Zed, and the other one just got picked both times. And I get the value in the Akali ban. That's shown to be a flex pick between mid and top that's really hard to deal with. I do just kind of question the Yasuo ban, like over one of these other ones. Like, yes, Rat has shown an extremely good Yasuo. I believe Jakar's even played at 80 carry before in like signups, but I think that champion's a little bit more counterable than perhaps things like the Kiana or the Zed jungle end up being. But clearly, they didn't want to play against it and tried to, game plan these other champs, but it's just not really working here.
Oh, here we go. Okay, now we're good. Now we're fully back.
Back. Yeah, Gwen does have that second item completed with the Omni Vamp coming through there, so maybe that'll help out a little bit.
I mean, everyone
But
will be on, like, not everyone. Well, they're just electing to start it up now.
they're just gonna start Otacon. They saw Gwen bot lane, and that's all they needed to feel comfortable starting this. Not that I really feel like Meta Busters you contest anyway, but this is just gonna be a free Otacon and no other objective up really for Meta Busters to try to cross map. And we're sitting here at about an 8K gold lead. It's just looking all QC right now.
Yeah, I don't think. Pretty much, I think at 30-minute, like, or a little bit. Oh, wait. This could be the play. Wait, but does Rat?
I swear they're danger pinging that bush, man.
They were. Oh, Jacob just wasn't ready to
Just-
shoot the ult.
Man, they're danger pinging that bush on the side of QC there. I don't believe they had any vision, so just really aware of where the potential cross map can be. And
And now, I mean, they're just gonna get.
I don't know who
here.
pinged that, but whoever did is just so on point with understanding what Meta Busters really only play was, and that's just great awareness.
Wait, maybe with the Scion ult here. Oh, another flash coming out. TB coming out.
Still has
Oh,
the
and she
ultimate
still
here
get-
as well.
It still gets out. Orange should probably fall here. It'll take him a little while.
But watch
to die.
Noam here. No, not even gonna be able to walk up.
Yeah, we'll wait like 5 minutes and then Corn will die. I mean, I think that whole play kind of just starts off with like kind of their vision quadrant that they had over the top side. Like 2 of the regular wards did die that they had up there. They kind of just assumed, hey, we haven't seen Syndra showing any of these wards up top. Not Syndra, Gwen. I'm just saying Gwen. They didn't see Gwen showing anything topside. She's probably going to be doing some weird bush play. I'm just unlucky.
Yeah,
I don't
just,
think Jacob
just great
saw-
awareness. I mean, it's just they're so locked in on the side of QC right there. I mean, that was really the only play Meta Busters had, and as you saw, with the knowledge that they could be in that bush, it got stuffed, and just again another good play by QC.
Syndra's also on full Rabadons right now. It's gonna be wraps for a little while,
A lot of damage.
especially with getting a couple Infernal Drags too. The Syndra's gonna be doing so much damage in every single fight. Oh my god, Syndra's empowered boots. So
Free
is
lanes. Like, I don't think Syndra's an unbeatable champ by any means, but you just giving that champion a free lane is just too easy if the Syndra player is competent. And Rat's already shown a high level on that champ, so just getting to play into something like the Smolder is just you're so happy to scale. Like, sure, Smolder scaling's better, but Syndra scales really hard herself while also being able to dominate that 1v1. And so I think, game 1 we saw an extremely hard
Big spawn
matchup for
here.
them to play top, and game 2 we saw an extremely hard matchup for Meta Busters
Man.
mid. And I mean, there's just nothing to even say there. Just walk in the jungle, another hook on a Jacob. That's another kill.
Surprised Jakar didn't try and go for some freaky out play on Fujer there.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't blame him. Just trying to limit test it at this point. It does feel a little bit out of reach.
And they have
for
Maokai
Meta
marking the
Busters.
one here too.
Yeah, and with he has the spell shield now, so it's not even like you can look for something like an Ashe ult or a Leona ultimate to start off a play onto Zed.
Well, Snow might be
You
able
you
to
are
pick up the
seeing
kill here.
Gwen
Oh,
does do well in the tanks, and gets his flash.
We have the Cristalero. Little wide. We also
Okay.
have Syndra TP coming in too.
Oh, and they're so quick on the punish, and yeah, you got our Malakai's flash, but at what cost? Again, it's just they have all their resources up constantly and are able to answer the play, and it's one kill, perhaps a second. Chow is just so unbothered, continuing to walk forward, finds Noam,
And
and just sets him up for Rat.
just not much going in the way of Meta Busters right now. I do wonder if they just go for the 2 kills here and then end the game again.
Flash stun out of Rat there. That's gonna be the damage they need to find the kill on the Smolder. It's just Scion left. Gwen's coming up in 7 seconds, so perhaps you don't look for the end here. Instead, it's just gonna be a Baron.
probably just gonna be, you take Nash, everyone recall, and then everyone's just gonna run down mid, and I think that should kind of just be the game. I mean, in this
To
upcoming
say it,
fight,
but yeah, I hate to say it, but I believe your prediction may have been correct, BB.
I was trying to reverse jinx it, man.
You sounded so confident, though.
I think all the uppercase letters should have indicated that I was trying to be sarcastic. I was trying to, I was trying to force a different circumstance out there, and it didn't really work out.
I understand. And you've just seen, again, I think it's just such great drafting on the side of QC. In all their series, especially the ones they've been winning, and maybe week one you kind of question their drafting, but since then, they've just been so on point. They're using the roll flexes to just always end up with someone on a really comfortable, powerful champion. And again, just a great draft both games that just gives themselves an extremely hard-winning matchup, whether it was in mid or in top. And they're just playing it well and using that pressure to ultimately influence the rest of the map.
Although the one big thing, Smolder hit 227. Smolder can start doing massive damage. Gnome did try and shoot an arrow at Maokai, and it did just miss. Oh, and Gnome's dead. Goodbye. I think they could just run it down mid. What? I don't think they're gonna have much of a chance to really turn in here. They do open up Jhin. Misses. Hits one. It's the last one. I mean, they have to. Oh, that's a double stun. And I think Corn's dead.
Yeah, it's just. Oh man.
Oh, and the stun just barely misses on the Syndra, but
Smolder does have his
Smolder's doing
has
some
his break
damage.
point of stacks, but
Doesn't really
I'm afraid
matter.
it might be a little too late.
Snow falls, and I think Smolder's gonna be next, and I think that's just game. Or they could just ignore him. Oh, wait. Gnome's back. Oh, no.
Bye-bye.
Who just give you
We're at the point of the game where Syndra doesn't even need R to one-shot you. Yeah. And just an extremely dominating, extremely clean 2-0 outside of QC. Really well played to them.
I am not happy that my prediction was right. I was
just, to be frank, just it wasn't particularly close. I think they came in with a better game plan, better draft, and just executed better on the day. Just a great performance. For game 2 MVP, I'd personally probably lean towards Drakkar. I thought the Zed was
Drakkar too.
Played extremely, extremely well. I mean, obviously, I think Rat played a really good game 2 as well. I gotta knock him some points just off the fact that I think Syndra into Smolder is kind of free. But he played it flawlessly, no deaths, deathless on this game, and we already mentioned max damage. Drakkar with the Zed though was just, oh my god, all over the place. And I think you've seen why his Zed's been permabanned. In the same way you saw why Rat's Kiana was permabanned the first game. It just felt like we kind of got a Zed Kiana exhibition tonight.
Do we want to move up into lobby and then get someone for an interview?
Sure, I'd be down for a little interview.
I have a good question. I have a really good question.
Okay. We'll see who they choose to share. Give us some thoughts on their series.
Okay, we have 2 people.
Guyana, say it.
Yo, I
Hello.
think we're.
Congratulations.
Yo.
Well, congratulations on your 2-0. I look like a total genius in casting chat because I wrote down, look, I love the Metabuster squad. They have so much aura, but sadly, QC is too good and unbeatable, so it'll be a short stream tomorrow. I didn't want to be right, but it turns out I was right in my reverse jinx. Anyway, my one and only question. is there a better chance of SKT winning a series or you guys not losing a single game for the rest of the season? What's a better chance?
A single game?
Well, in the regular season, not playoffs.
I
Oh,
think it's possible for us to drop a game.
I think so too.
One
That's a
single
toxic
game.
ass question, but
What do you mean? I think it's a great question.
I think SKT could win finals if they lock in.
They could. They almost beat BB. You're
yeah,
also
They
Rat,
just-
as
they
a
just-
former member of that team, knows them well.
Yeah, those are my goats.
Definitely.
Could not make it happen for them last time. But now I have my own team.
You do have your own team, and I guess what are your thoughts on this series overall? I guess my reaction to the series was I was surprised they let you have Kiana game 1, and I was surprised they let you guys have Zed game 2.
Me
Any
too.
other
I
thoughts
mean,
beyond that?
I think I don't know. We thought like game 2 that I thought them leaving the Zed open was their like they were gonna lock in Zed because Snow actually has a really good Zed. So we thought they would B1 Zed, but then they didn't. They picked Smolder instead. But like we had answers to the Zed, so we kind of wanted them to pick it. But then game 1, not banning Kiana is just disrespectful. Like
She's the best jungle on the
we didn't.
patch. Like, why are we letting
Yeah,
Kiana open?
she's very very good, and especially
Still a
because she's
strong mid
my
laner.
one
Like,
trick.
Yeah. This rat guy might be like a little bit good on that champion.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Like, we didn't pick it B1 because we were like, well, maybe they want us to pick Kiana. Like, maybe they have some insane like Malphite draft into it or something. But so we just slammed Smolder and then picked it
Yeah,
next
we had to be
round.
like very respectable in draft against this team. Where like we don't really know what they could play.
True.
Oh, I have another question.
But yeah.
Whenever you're all
Okay,
done.
go ahead.
Sorry.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, in kind of like the beginning of the season, did you truly think that Drakkar would have a game of 80 carry during the regular season before you, Rat, or were you only dead set on just playing mid lane and some jungle games this year? Or this season, I should say.
Well, okay. Actually, McKinley, I'll let you answer that question. Actually, wait, no, it's literally a question directed at me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Drakkar and I are both very flexible players in terms of the roles that we play. I cannot play top lane. That's like the only role that I will just get destroyed in.
Well, that rolls hard, so it doesn't matter.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, he just has a very different playstyle than me, so it's kind of it kind of just depends on what playstyle we need in which role, because he is a very macro based, like slow kind of like he's very good at like controlling the map and playing scaling champions while also being dominant. But I'm not good at that at all. Like I all I know is go in and kill people. So like I mean I guess it's like weird with Syndra because Syndra's like kind of a chill champion, but
I mean, she used to be
like
the
I mean you've
aggressive
seen
early
like
game.
Yasuo, Kiana, Kali, like stuff like that. Like all I know is just go kill everyone, and I have no macro. Like I've only made it to master tier based off of like mechanics alone. My macro sucks and decision making sucks, but that's why like when I play with Drakkar, it makes it so much easier because I can ask questions. Like people aren't asking me the questions, I can ask him the questions. Like I have like a generic decent macro, but like he has way better macro than I do. So I can just be like, okay, like I was asking him in game 2, I was like, okay, how do we want to play the end? Like how do we want to end this game? And we are able to, you know, kind of formulate a plan instead of just like playing the game by ear.
I think
Yeah, I mean like it's a win-win. I just get to abuse this guy's like mechanics and I basically he just gets the game knowledge from me. I can
True.
just do the shot calling.
You make a good combination. I have a question. Who pinged out the bush cheese they were trying to put on Syndra at the end of that third game in the
That was
bot
just
lane?
that was just intellect. I knew that
Yeah,
was the only play that they could make.
I thought so. I thought that was really good read. And then my other question is: are we ever actually going to get to see some Rat 80 carry?
Probably,
probably.
maybe it just depends because I'm actually like pretty bannable on 80 carry to where like, and also playing AD carry is like one of the people that are expected to carry is harder because they can just lock in things like Vi or like assassins or whatever, and then it forces the rest of our comp to be around things that defend me rather than like things that have more agency. So like I think like playing AD carry in a competitive standpoint, especially when the ranks are skewed, is like pretty hard.
Makes sense.
And you want to be around your car like a lot. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Like our mid jungle is just able to control the map a lot more. And like if I'm playing AD carry, I have to focus so much more on my mechanics than what's happening on the map.
Any other
man.
questions, PB?
No, I don't think I got any. It was a good series.
I guess let's see. Your next series is against Albert's Inferno. Any thoughts there?
Teddy and I have known each other for a while now.
Oh.
So I'm excited for that one. That'll be a
Teddy's a
personal
beast.
bout for me.
Yeah, you might get the Rat AD debut for the
Yeah,
matchup.
that,
here.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
selfishly
maybe.
request, please, the Red AD debut against Teddy. That would be content. That
That
would
would be
great.
fire.
But I don't know. Any other closing thoughts from you two?
I don't think so. GG's to our opponents. GG's to Snow, our friend Patrick. Known him for a long time too.
Alrighty then. Well, thanks for everyone for coming out. Good.
Yeah,
Good job tonight, QC.
catch a series tomorrow. There'll be Rift Sharks will be playing against One Thief tomorrow.
Oh,
I
do you have
can
a prediction for
guarantee
that?
you that
Do you
will
have a
be an
prediction for that?
excellent series to watch.
That'll
So
be a
everybody
banger.
tune in.
Who's winning?
It's gonna be a good one.
It's Rift
One
Sharks
Thief is the
tomorrow.
team that took us down, but then we beat Rift Sharks.
We got this. Don't
It's
worry.
Rift
But
Sharks
then I
tomorrow.
think,
You know what? I'm gonna say 2-1 Rift Sharks.
yeah, I'll say,
Hey.
I don't know. It depends on what roster One Thief is running. I think One Thief can beat them.
Nah,
Alright, you
Rift
can
Sharks
squeeze
I
the
don't
other way
know.
then.
I'll go One Thief 2-1.
Either way, I like the 2-1 predictions. It's gonna be a banger. Everybody tune in tomorrow. See who's right. It's gonna be fun
Oh,
either
yeah.
way. Thank you all for
I'll
watching.
definitely be tuning into
pleasure.
that. It'll be an exciting game to watch.
Good night, everyone.
Alright. GG's everyone.